Welcome, my beautiful Scorpios, to a special tarot reading for you. Um, Scorpio, I feel your energy and it's interesting. I feel like I feel like you need some guidance right now. So, um, I tuned into my guides and I do get this feeling that things are about to change. Like there's about to be this grand opening type of energy for you in particular. Um, so I want to see what this is and I want to help you get through this period. So this is going to be for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising, really any placements, and definitely for those intuitively guided also. Um, I know a lot of you will watch different signs, and boy, I just feel so proud of you because you understand that there are messages many times, even if it's not your sign, your guides know you're here. So this is kind of for the brokenhearted, those are having like a lot of stress right now. I know some are going through some things that were totally unexpected, yet these things happen. So we're going to go ahead and get right into the reading. I'm going to bring the lid down and we will let Mother Mary open up the reading. We're going to use the Gilded Tarot to clarify and go deeper. And for the main spread, I'm going to use the Tarot Dreams. And I'm just kind of doing a freestyle reading today. So let's start with Mother Mary. And I know some signs are like, why are you always doing Scorpio? It just calls, like your energy calls to me. But I do feel other signs, like I feel there's other signs who could use a little special attention. So, um, there'll be more to come. All right, says Scorpio. Wow. Mother Mary has a lot to say. Feminine, feminine energy. I allow my feminine nature to shine brightly as a valuable part of my identity. Feminine. You know, and I got goosebumps for some reason. Maybe because what I was just about to say is I often feel when feminine energy is being called forward, it usually means that there's a reason. And, you know, loving, nurturing, we'll see. Huh. Marriage. Interesting. I make a commitment to a healthy relationship with God, myself, and my partner. Marriage. Inner child. I nurture the child within me through playfulness and self care, and then be strong. Be strong. I pull myself up and do what needs to be done, even if I don't feel like it. So, some of you may be dealing with something going on with the marriage. Um, I feel like the inner child I definitely feel like for you, this is where you take the brunt of the pain. But I feel like Mother Mary sending out be strong as the last message. It feels good. Like it feels like whatever you're going through, there's going to be a solution. Let's put it that way. Okay. So feminine, marriage, inner child, and be strong, my child. All right. Let's go to the Tarot Dreams. There's something big happening in the sky today. Um, and I was going to look it up, but then I thought, No, let's just see what comes out in the reading. All right. So I'm going to just take a second, calm my own energy. This is a great time to invite your guides. They're already here. Um, but to invite them to give you like signs of confirmation. Let me know that this reading is for me or that certain messages are for me. And then trust that. You may get goosebumps. There could be numbers. You can certainly ask your guides for like signs of confirmation, as in like numbers, a sign. I did I think it was my past life reading, and I wanted to give something made me want to give the person, well, there was a couple people in the reading, but I gave the woman the name of Maria. And number one, you guys gave me a lot of confirmation with that. But this happens all the time to me. So I finished with that reading. My lights just blinked. I finished with that reading. And then I was watching the Olympics figure skating. And the first one I saw, I can't remember what country she was from, but her song was called Maria. And it just Maria, 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 like over and over. And you know, like this happens all the time to me. So, and I never give names. I mean, here and there I'll give names, but the reason why I'm telling you that is because I just want you to understand that your spirit guides, they're here. And the signs, they're everywhere. We just have to pay attention. We just need to be aware. All right, well, you start with the star. Your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. Also, card of Aquarius. This is about manifesting. She's pouring waters from two jugs, two separate jugs that are then coming together as one. I don't know why I never noticed that before. And that's what I love about tarot. It's like you can use the same tarot deck and still pick up different messages. So for some, it could be love, harmony, that type of thing. Those may be your intentions right now. Oh my gosh. Hello, Ace of Cups. Right next to the star. Some of you are trying to manifest love. Hmm. Interesting. The Ace of Swords, but in reverse. Two aces back to back. One in the upright, one in reverse. Ace of Swords, Ace of Swords to me is like your truth, integrity. Um, some of you may be dealing with like, oh my gosh, like energy that just went quiet on you. Look at this. Soulmates. Look at this. The star. The Ace of Cups. The Ace of Swords. It is reversed, but I have a feeling we can turn that around. The soulmates. No wonder I noticed those two jugs that were becoming one. Well, that's exactly what the soulmates are. And look at this big Ace of Cups right above them. Two aces. Interesting because we had two aces. One is in reverse and one is not. Find that interesting. Then we have the moon, card of Pisces, ruler of Cancer. You know, the moon speaks of uncertainties. Like we can only see as far as the moon allows us to see. But if it's a full moon, we can see far enough. It's also very dreamy type energy. And I kind of feel like that's really what it's speaking about. Interesting, it puts the Ace of Swords in reverse right in the middle. Two of Pentacles. Okay. I just got goosebumps again. I'm not sure why. Other than what I was thinking at this very moment was I wonder if some of you are thinking of potentially reaching out to someone, but maybe you're not sure. Maybe you're not sure. But let me also say, I feel like some of you have put intentions out into the universe of what type of love that you're looking for. And I feel like it can't just be any old love. Why? Because I feel like many of you have dealt with any old love already. And I feel like your dreams, you want to manifest this soulmate. Hello, Fool. Under the Ace of Cups, a new beginning in love. The Hermit, under the Ace of Swords. Someone's reflecting. You know, it could be on one's own truth. Even the willingness to take a leap of faith. You know, sometimes you got to be careful what you're wishing for because it just might show, and it's showing. But then it's also asking you to be willing to take on the fool's energy. And that does mean, you know, let's say this is talking about like existing relationships and maybe communication has just been not good. Well, I feel like, listen, I feel one of two things. I feel like we're either going to talk about it or we're not. Because I feel like some of you have like a foot out the door, so to speak. All right, what else do we have? The Four of Pentacles. And look at this, the Ace of Pentacles. Goosebumps again. So the Ace of Pentacles, my gosh, this is you manifesting your dreams. This is you manifesting through the star's energy. And this Two of Pentacles, it feels to me like what it's saying is be clear about what it is that you truly want to manifest. You know, like if it's an existing relationship and communication has been an issue, well, I feel like you must know that. They must know that. Um, and I feel like, you know, if that doesn't change, then you may have a foot out the door. But I also feel this is like saying for those who, you know, don't have anyone really in mind, but you do want, well, you want true love. You want true love. You know, it makes me feel like the Ace of Swords is saying, but you got to believe in it. You got to believe that it's possible. You got to believe that it can walk into your door because I feel like for some of you, it's like love literally walking into your door. This Ace of Pentacles is telling you that whatever you're manifesting here, that it is coming into your physical world. So we really want to know why this Ace of Swords is in reverse, especially with the Fool here, right? The one who is willing to begin again, to have a fresh start, to put one foot in front of the other. Tower on the bottom of the deck. Palace of Pentacles under that. Some of you could have lost a job. Um, let's face it, the tower being at the bottom of the deck. First of all, it's a good thing it's at the bottom of the deck because that's what wants to leave. And that is clearly the energy I've been feeling, which made me do this reading, is that tower. But just like I said in the beginning of the reading, I felt like something new, something big was opening up for you. And normally, like, the soulmates don't always have to mean love. It can be like a best friend, but because it is mirroring the Ace of Cups, I do feel like it's romantic. Some of you, it's like in your dream state, you may not even know. You may not even know. And maybe that's another reason why the Ace of Swords is in reverse. It's like, I don't even know that I'm putting those intentions out there. Well, that's your soul. It's almost like your soul is calling in your soulmate. All right, let's take the Gilded Tarot over this. Um, by the way, the Hermit is card of Virgo. I didn't say that. And I do have to say, being a Virgo myself, um, Virgos can go quiet. Okay, looks like the cards are already ready. The Emperor. I want a better man. I want a better man. I want someone I can look up to, I can learn from. I want someone who has the same values as I do. You know, I know many of you are on this spiritual journey, and you're just becoming aware that, you're not just this human body, that you are a spiritual being. And, using the power of intention to call in the Emperor. Let's see if the Empress shows up. Doesn't have to, but let's just see. This is a card of Aries, by the way. Can be a father figure. Um, but honestly, what I'm feeling right now, and it may be all of that, but what I'm feeling is that many of you, you're just looking for a higher version of love. Let's put it that way. Hello, Knight of Cups over the Ace of Cups. Wow. Unexpected cup of fulfillment. Literally. And what does this knight bring in? A cup. And it is right over that cup. I just feel like whatever's happening in the sky, I feel like it's like lifting burdens, and it's like making the veil thinner. Okay. The Six of Wands over that reversal of the Ace of Swords. Some of you, the Six of Wands is the energy of victory and success. And it is mirroring the Hermit. And the Hermit really is about, well, this Hermit has gone into the cave. So to me, that's like going through the dark night of the soul. And I'm sure it's related back to the Tower. But you are seeking wisdom here. And the Hermit is looking right at full. So I feel like the minute I feel I have the spiritual wisdom that I'm seeking, even if it doesn't mean like the moon again, it doesn't mean like, or let me put it a different way. Sometimes all we think about is the final outcome and we forget about the beauty of the journey. Queen of Pentacles over the Two of Cups. Can be Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn. Doesn't have to be. I call this person my psychic detective. Seven of Pentacles over the Moon. The King of Wands over the Two of Pentacles. Look at this. The Ace of Cups under the Ace of Cups over the Fool. Let me say that again. The Ace of Cups under the Ace of Cups over the Fool and mirroring the Knight of Cups. Wow. Here are our two cups for our soulmates. The Sun, beautiful. And then the Tower, interesting. Okay, so, well, let's see if we can get one more card out, then we'll talk about it. By the way, the Queen of Pentacles, the Emperor, it can be male or female. What you want to do is just where it feels right for you, is that's where you place yourself. Oh my gosh. All right, Nine of Swords. Four of Pentacles again. And look at this, the Lovers. How interesting. And I got the goosebumps again. The first thing I want to say is when I did this, when I was planning on doing this reading, this is what I felt. The Nine of Swords and the Tower. That's the energy I was feeling. So this is worry. The meaning of this card is unnecessary worry. And I know why you're worrying. Because of this previous Tower. Will it not just happen again? Not if you understand yourself, number one, right? Because this ace is, first of all, the Ace of Swords is first and foremost your truth, your voice, your integrity. And because it's flipped, I feel like maybe I've given all that away to someone else who then was so kind enough to just give me a tower. And I'm being a smartass when I say that. However, right next to it is the Sun coming over the Hermit, and the Hermit is seeking spiritual wisdom. Well, the Sun is the illuminator. The Sun is like a brand new day. And it is playfulness. This is why Mother Mary was calling out your feminine energy and your playful self. This doesn't feel like the type of love that's all serious. This feels fun. This feels good. It feels meant to be. Seven of Pentacles, your tree of life. And how interesting that underneath it is the Ace of Pentacles. Because your tree of life, I feel like these seeds, these pentacles on this tree, are your soul seeds of intention. And that's why the first message with Seven of Pentacles is patience, right? I want to let these seeds come to full fruition. Like how, if it's like I relate it to like an apple tree. I'm not going to pick an apple until the apple is ripe. But some of you, this might be predestined love. These could have been, um, like your seeds of intention before you even came into this lifetime. I did a podcast on it, like what our souls go through right before we incarnate. It was kind of interesting. It was, well, it wasn't kind of, it was interesting. But, anyways, meant to be. And the promise of the Seven of Pentacles is when one of these seeds are ready to be picked, then it will drop its seed. And here it is. This Ace of Pentacles, it's truly meant to enhance your life. And it does talk about something that's coming into your physical life. So this is something that's tangible. Like the Ace of Cups, that's energy, right? Like I can almost feel like I'm about to meet someone. For some of you, I'm telling you, like if you literally have been putting those intentions out there of calling in what feels like your true soulmate, baby, I hope you see the power you have. If there's anything I'd want anyone to learn from just me doing tarot readings, it's how to listen and to use energy. Then we have the Lovers. First of all, it is the card of Gemini. The meaning of it is a head over heart decision, and I could see that. But it's chemistry, baby. It's undeniable. I'm not going to say there has to be like fireworks, but there'll definitely be butterflies. And what I love about this image is the feminine, which Mother Mary was calling. And then there's the masculine. But the masculine is like not here yet. But the essence of his energy is. And how interesting. It is also sitting next to the Four of Pentacles. So it literally feels like someone's going to knock at your door. Come and knock on my door. You're like, okay. I feel like this previous tower, it feels like it kind of shut down your voice, shut down your own truth. It almost feels like I had to lower my vibration, or it is maybe what caused some of you to go into the hermit mode, to truly seek the light. And then the light literally comes over it. And again, the hermit's looking directly at the fool, the one who is willing to take a leap of faith. But you have to remember, though, the fool has put the past behind him or her and is ready for a new beginning. I'm not going to say it can't be like, again, in a relationship that can be healed, because I do feel like maybe with some truthful communication. But for some of you, this is someone brand new. I'm feeling both. All right. I'm going to slide these over. And I'm going to go ahead and take three more or whatever wants to come out. I just realized by sliding that over, now the Lovers is mirroring the Knight of Cups. We see the feminine, we feel the masculine. Of course, it can be the other way around. One is feeling the essence of another. I feel like whatever is happening in the skies right now, Scorpio, it's an opportunity for you. I am definitely going to have to look it up because I feel like it's an opportunity for you to manifest and manifest of the Most High. I do think it's important, or it will be important. Well, it's important that you have to have some reflection over this past tower because you really want to know where you've been to understand where you're going, or to know, like, okay, well, that didn't work. What went wrong with it? What do I need to know? And don't judge yourself, right? Just, what do I need to know? Am I able to give love? If I'm asking for my true soulmate, am I truly ready for my true soulmate? Because we need to be what it is that we're asking to come in. But again, how quickly it happens for you. Look what just flipped around. Beautiful. The hermit has found the light, the truth, the wisdom, and is now moving out of the dark night of the soul and into the sun. Seven of Cups, and then the Knight of Wands. Okay, so some of you, I just get this sense that, I get the sense of like, holy shit. Like, did I literally just manifest through my intentions? And now what am I going to do? Well, first and foremost, I feel like the energy of the hermit, right? Seeking the spiritual wisdom. But first and foremost, about oneself. And then about any situation. Because you are finding the light. Not only are you finding the light, but it's putting you in the light. It's like the dark days are over. And then I find it interesting that Seven of Cups is like you making the decision. But I can't see you saying no because it's all starting with you. And then, hello, Knight of Wands. This is exactly the energy that I feel the Lovers feel. So this Knight of Wands is coming over the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles is, well, it's the soulmate. You're coming into each other's lives. It's not always like someone coming into our lives. You're coming into each other's lives. And by the way, if you're calling in a soulmate, I have a feeling your soulmate's calling you in also. Boy, I feel like just hang in there. Hang in there. Things are changing. Things are truly changing. It all does start with you, though. You've got to be able to at least find the truth of the tower and then let it be, let it go. Jump into the fool's energy, which is really childlike. Even the sun, playfulness, matching what Mother Mary is asking. We have the masculine energy here, and Mother Mary is calling for the feminine energy. That's got to be you. Okay. Well, let's just see if anything else wants to come out. And then, whoa. Okay. I'm picking those back up. That just didn't feel natural at all. I felt like it was me. All right. So, anything else that we need to know? Queen of Cups. That's fitting. And look what she's holding. Cup. Here it is. We have cups everywhere. The Three of Pentacles. I love the Three of Pentacles. And by the way, I didn't try to make this a love reading. It's just the direction clearly it wanted to go. So, as love goes, I love the Three of Pentacles because this is about being celebrated for your individuality, being loved for exactly who you are, and vice versa. Well, look who made his way out. Look at that. Goosebumps again. Now we have our power couple. And then the Eight of Cups. Yesterday, all my troubles seem so far away. This is yesterday's energy. These are those cups that have caused confusion, pain, but they really don't have a place in your future. This is you heading towards the Nine of Cups, inner fulfillment, and fulfillment of wishes. I feel like we're letting it off there. By the way, 8, also a new beginning, and the number of infinity, as above, so below. Wow. This soulmate type of energy, just the way that is being presented, just feels so special. And you want to talk about two evolved people, the Emperor and the Empress. Number 33, by the way, some of you may have a master number 33, or master number 33 is about pure love. So I have a feeling this is representing pure love. I'm not going to say there will never be an issue, but the Emperor and the Empress, listen, they are highly evolved and it's their own work, right? They've both been through the Hermit. They've both been through the dark night of the soul. And it's interesting because the Empress is that loving and nurturing energy. And the one thing that she's learned, this is something she had to learn, was not to close down her heart due to others who just didn't know how to love her. You can't be everybody's cup of tea, but you are someone's cup of tea. And I just get this feeling of, maybe I did have to kiss some frogs before I found my ultimate princess or prince, king or queen. I feel like we're evolved past prince or princess. And I feel like the Eight of Cups is actually the perfect place to leave it because it is like emotional clarity. It's like an emotional new beginning, but without the hassle of the tower. Sitting so close to the Empress knows who she is. She knows that she deserves, well, let me put it this way. The Empress has learned that she does not lower her vibration to be with another. Another must be in the same vibrational energy. That's exactly why I was hoping that the Emperor and the Empress both came out. And here they are. Here they are. So, soulmates, I feel like quickly, well, I'm saying quickly, but know what you want. Put those intentions out there. I feel like the dark days are coming to an end. And you, my friend, you're heading towards the light. And my God, everything that's going to open up in that period of time, chances are the Emperor and the Empress will spend the rest of their lives together. But each of them had their own journeys to reach that ultimate energy. And they're great leaders, mentors. They want to help. They're both very compassionate and empathetic. They may do things differently. Emperor's much more methodical. Empress is much more goes by the seat of my pants. But yet, both very in tuned. So it's like calling in your soulmate, and then the Empress shows up. Just beautiful. Okay, well, Scorpio, something now to look forward to. And I want to make it clear it's starting with you and you putting out those clear intentions. And and you don't even have to say, like, I want this person, or no, I want my ultimate soulmate. I'm ready. And you have to ask yourself, are you ready? Because if you're ready, watch out, baby. Here it comes. I love you. I thank you. I'll see you next time at our table. Bye bye.